San Diego Comic-Con 2022. We're going to talk about some cool stuff we saw. Let's go. Welcome back to AsArt. My name is Nick, and I have an awesome guest with me, Matt. He's a subscriber that I met at Comic-Con. Saved me a seat on a panel. Welcome, Matt.
Hi.
So we're going to talk about some things we liked at Comic-Con. I didn't really dislike anything, maybe the lines, but we're going to talk about all the stuff we saw and stuff like that too. And I spent most of my time on the main floor. The only panel I went into, thank you to Matt, was Severance. He had a seat saved for me, and it was amazing. We did a whole video. If you want to watch that video of us breaking down the Severance panel, go check it out. I'll put the link here in the description or somewhere. And yeah, we're just going to talk about some cool things. So some people who weren't there compared to the last 2 years, because it's been 2 years. Wow.
Yeah.
It's been two years since the last Comic-Con, which is crazy. But DC Comics wasn't there, which was like, what? DC Comics isn't here. And then now Fox was now the Hulu booth, so that was just a little different. And then WB wasn't there, and in their place was Disney Plus.
Yeah, that
was like the big changes on the floor, and I was fine with it. I mean, there's so much to see there. It's not like I'm gonna be sad if one company's not there. So
yeah, I mean, and there was a ton of good stuff. So it didn't really, like I think a couple of years back I went to Comic-Con and I forget what it was, but there was like I think Marvel didn't have anything. I think it's Marvel, and I was like, well, you still have fun, and you always see the cosplay and everything, and you see the booths, and you get to talk to people, and
it's so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's, if you've never been to Comic-Con or even WonderCon, you should go. So
anyone you talk to, if you're into the same nerd stuff, trust me, you get along with everyone there. There's someone for everyone there with anything you're into. And if you're into games, they have game stuff. If you're into like the art scene, they have the artist alley. By the way, if you went to Comic-Con, check out Patrick Bellateras. He's an amazing artist. He was actually my teacher at art school. He does great design and stuff there. He always has a booth there. Oh, go check out Patrick. I'll put his link and stuff in the info, but I always got to stop by and see my boy Patrick. And but yeah, the artist alley is always so much fun. It's just these very talented artists who work in the industry. Like some of them like work at Industrial Light and Magic, but they're just doing this on the side because it's just like a fun hobby for them and stuff like that. And it's just everyone you talk in line. When I was waiting to get in the morning, I was talking to a guy who owns a comic book store in Monterey, but he was a colorist for the comic books for the original Thanos Gauntlet comic book series. I was like, what? That's crazy. Like, you just don't know who you're going to bump into and meet. And it's all nerdy, good stuff.
Yeah. And it's just so many people. And, after the pandemic and everything, I was a little worried that it would be a little different, but the only thing was that they made us wear masks, and that wasn't that bad. So,
no, it wasn't bad. And it's I don't like smelling all the people's breaths anyways. They waited in line all night. They're not brushing their teeth. They're probably eating chips all day. It's like, I'm good. No, no.
Well, and some people even made their masks go with their
Yes.
So
yeah, which was really cool. Is when they are able to adapt. Like, I was like, I should go as Kakashi, man, from Naruto, man. He already has a mask on. I just gotta put a white wig on, dude. I'll be good, man. Yeah. I'm just a little too short to be Kakashi. I'm more like Kid Naruto. But so some booths that stood out to me was a new booth that was there was the Studio Ghibli booth. And I'm a huge fan of Studio Ghibli stuff, so I was super excited they were there. We're going through the series with John because he's never watched the shows. So we have a whole playlist down below or somewhere on our channel, but you should check it out because we're going through every Studio Ghibli film. If you haven't watched them, I highly recommend them. They're amazing animated feature films. But what was a booth that stood out to you, Matt?
Let's see. Oh, the Star Wars one.
That was
just
huge.
Like they had the costumes on and stuff, and you're just like, oh, this is amazing, And
Star Wars was huge, right? They had that display of all the different costumes from their Disney Plus shows. It looked like, and it was just, it's so cool to see the detail in these costumes. And anytime they have props from shows and movies and stuff like that, I'm just always like, this is so incredible because it's stuff you won't even see on film sometimes,
Yeah, and
and just the details
well,
incredible.
it's so different to see it in person. Like, they had a lot because
Mm.
I'm gonna be going back um to see some Jurassic Park stuff, and
Oh yeah.
they had so much like cool Jurassic Park stuff, like all the dinosaurs and stuff like that.
Mm.
Um, let's see, what else was it? You know,
A lot of toys.
oh yes, and there's I don't know, it doesn't really matter where you are financially because you always feel like, gosh, I just want to buy everything, and it's
Yeah, you're like Philip J. Fry. Shut up and take my money.
yeah, absolutely.
But is there any toys that stood out to you? I know they had like a black Mattel. They do exclusives every year, and I think their one of their exclusive was like a all black Mandalorian or Boba Fett costume thing that looked pretty sick. I'm not really a collector. I mean, I have. Do I have one behind me? Oh, I have one collection that I have that. This is from an older Comic Con, but I just had to get this. It was
Oh,
like a Ninja Turtle, but there's so many collectibles and stuff that you can get at Comic Con, and I try not to because I'm running out of space. But
yeah, it tends to be a problem in our house too, like especially with like Lego toys, and I
oh,
I,
the Legos booth was
I
sick
didn't know
too.
there
But
was
yeah,
so many dinosaurs, and I have so many dinosaurs in our house for my son, and I'm like, "Do you need any more?" He's like, "Yeah, we need all these," and it's like, okay,
yeah.
so.
He's like, Dad, I want the dinosaur that eats the man off the toilet.
Oh, they had a thing like that. You could wait in line, and the part where the lawyer
Yeah. Uh
gets
huh.
ate by the T-Rex. They have the toilet up and everything. And
What? I didn't even
yeah,
see
I
that.
saw it and
There's
I
so
was
much
like,
to
oh
see.
man. So
Yeah, because at Disney Plus they had different, well, no, Marvel, was it Marvel or Disney Plus? They had like the different sets, right? Like they had She-Hulk,
yeah,
they had some other stuff from their different shows where you can like pose and
yeah,
stuff. At the Viz Media booth they had Naruto stuff,
yeah.
or Naruto, Naruto, however you want to say it, but they had a giant ramen bowl and I'm like, that's so freaking sick.
Yeah, they had Moon Knight too.
That's
Yeah,
right, Moon Knight.
yeah. We
Mm-hmm.
actually, I got some pictures of those. We got to go up to them and stuff, and it was cool. I mean, all that's also what I really like about Comic Con is when they set up the like I went one year and they had the Big Bang Theory set. And you
Mm,
sit on the couch, and I was like, this is awesome.
that's pretty
Yeah.
sick. Speaking about sets, I know outside of Comic Con, I wasn't able to go because of the line situation, but Severance has a full experience where you can actually go into the Lumen office or the severed floor. And I guess they even have the computers there so you can play the games. Ben Stiller said in the panel, which we did a whole video
Hmm.
on, he even mentioned like a lot of the props from the show are in that thing too.
Yeah.
He said it's like it was just like a lot of cool stuff, and I was like, oh man, if I can get in, I know Matt's gonna try.
I'm hoping I came up with a term for it. I want to be illuminated.
Ah, yes, it's so
Yeah.
good. And if he did, maybe we'll just overlay footage here like it happened.
Yeah,
You never know.
yeah. I hope so. Yeah, and what was it? I saw the new Game of Thrones, the House of the Dragon.
Oh, you did.
Well, no, I didn't go inside because again,
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
line. I don't know. These lines this year are a
Hall
lot.
H, it's crazy.
Yeah, but
Always
this was on the
crazy.
outside, and so I walked in, and they had like almost like a whole castle set up, and they had like dragon claws and stuff. I took a picture, so hopefully we can
Wow.
show that here. But it was like
Wow.
I even asked if it was scary because I wanted to bring my son in there, and they're like, "Whoa!" And I was like, "He likes Jurassic Park," and they're like, "Well, dragons and dinosaurs are like the
Yeah.
same thing." So
But Jurassic Park is still more scary than anything from Game of Thrones. I'm just kidding.
yeah,
I remember watching that movie as a kid. That's a horror movie. That's a horror movie. Like kids being crushed underneath a car in the kitchen scene. Like there's so many horror moments in that.
well,
It's such a good movie.
yeah.
And it holds up so
Well,
well
and
over time.
I remember my son when he was really little, he was like, "Oh, Dad, I want to see a dinosaur." I'm like, "Do you? Okay." And I was like, I put on that scene, the scene where there's the T-Rex and he's walking around and it's
Yeah.
raining, and just the like when he roars and the look on my son's face, and I'm like, Oh God, I think I'm a good
What
nightmare.
did I do? I scarred him for life.
Yeah, it's not advisable. Don't show your kids that movie till later. But
Yeah, it's tough because you're like the first half of the movie is great. It's all fun, it's upbeat, but the second half of the movie, it's like, oh, it's a horror movie.
yeah, it's yeah, this is off subject, but
No, it's all
the,
good.
Michael Crichton, right? He's the one
Mhm.
that wrote Jurassic Park and
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 Westworld.
Westworld. And I'm thinking like, because he lived in San Diego and I live in San Diego, so I'm like, what amusement park did this man go to drive him to be
Oh,
like, I'm gonna write.
SeaWorld.
It was SeaWorld, yeah.
I mean, they torture animals there. Animals have to revolt at some point, right?
Yeah.
Put them in tiny cages.
Well, because like I go to Disneyland and stuff, and I'm like, long
Yes.
long lines, food's expensive, right? But
Yeah.
not this guy. He was like, what if everything turns on you?
Yeah. Exactly. I know it's the same exact story, right? Robots in amusement parks, dinosaurs in amusement
Yeah.
park. It goes haywire. They all kind of just do whatever they want to do and kill people. By the way, we are covering Westworld here too.
Yeah.
If you want to subscribe, we're going through all the new episodes and stuff. Woo! It's looking up from season 3. It's looking up from season 3.
And-
So if you,
Yeah, and I was so glad it came back too. I think I told you that when we talked,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
because after Raised by Wolves just disappeared, I'm like, is anything safe? I thought that one was pretty good. So
It was scary with the merger. It's
Yeah.
like, uh-oh, what's next?
yeah,
What shows do I love? Please don't get rid of them.
well, those are always the ones they get rid of,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it feels that way for
yeah,
sure. You know what? You know what's so interesting? Speaking of shows that weren't there, maybe they were. You can correct me if you did see them there. I didn't see Westworld there,
no,
which I thought was like, come on, it's like halfway through the season. Why aren't they there, like promoting it and stuff
because
like
I've
that?
been there on previous years, and I did see the Westworld cast,
Yeah.
but I think I knew a little bit about it because it was like
Mhm.
sometimes the cast will show up before the show ever comes out. So then you're like, who are these people, right? But actually, they're
Mhm.
like you become huge fans after you meet them,
Yeah.
And yeah. So no Westworld.
No Westworld and no Stranger Things.
Yeah, no, not really, not like before. Like
Yeah.
you would have thought, you would have saw Vecna, like all over the
Yeah.
place, and
I did see the Hellfire Club
yes,
shirts all over the place. Though.
that was everywhere. Uh, that shirt is like I was looking at it today, and I was like, I need to get one of those, because they're just it's like an iconic thing,
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stranger Things shirts, me and my wife are actually designing
Oh,
one.
nice.
Yeah, the Shire is birding shirt. So it's just gonna be text. It'll be nice and clean, but it'll be at asart.space. I might even pop it up here as an image or something like that. But yeah, I just like geeky shirts, and I wear all my geeky shirts. And I love it, and I'm gonna keep designing them.
Yeah. What? And they really are conversation pieces. Like I've worn shirts.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it, And I'll put a shirt on, and then I'll go walk around. Somebody come up to me, and they'll start talking about the show, and I'll be like, "Why are they talking about the show right now? I'm here to buy
forget.
milk." Yeah.
Oh no! Was it a boys' T-shirt? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'll watch Cobra Kai, and so I have a couple
Oh,
shirts.
okay.
And I'm like, why? I'm not doing anything about fighting. What are you talking about right now? You crazy person.
Yeah. Whenever I think of milk now, I just think of Homelander
Oh.
and his milk fetish thing. So
Yeah.
that's why it's like milk. Oh no! What were you wearing something? Was it Homelander drinking milk? Did he have his milk stash? Oh, such a good show too. And the boys were not there. And I think it's because Prime's just pushing Lord of the Rings right now,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I think they were the biggest sponsors. They were on our badges. Yeah, so they're really pushing it. I think they released a new trailer too, this weekend. And that's the big debate for me when you go to Hall H, because Hall H is all about like watching the trailer and stuff. But like as soon as they play it in Hall H, they release it, and it's like, at least wait a week. Like give people like a reason to like wait in line overnight. I mean, don't get me wrong, the interviews and stuff are fun too and all that, but it's like all the footage they show as teasers, and it always seems to like leak out, and it's always just like,
Yeah.
you waited that long. But hey, more power to you if you waited for Hall H. I can't do it, so
I
more power
think
to
you
you.
gotta have like you gotta
Dedication.
like camp out the night before.
You do.
And
Yep.
I think
Hmm.
now the way with my luck and lines, I would camp out the night before and they'd be like, but you didn't do this one thing, and I'd be like, but I just sat here for 16 hours and I can't go.
Yeah.
No, sir. Maybe
Yeah.
try
And it
again
was a
next year.
little bit more complicated this year too,
Yeah.
because you had to get your wristband first to show that you were either tested negative or
Yeah.
you have proof of vaccination or something like that. So that's an extra step while also waiting in line. So it's just like through all the craziness and you're trying to figure out stuff and it's just like, what's going on? And then the best way to get news in Comic-Con is to listen to what other people are saying.
Yeah.
Like I was in line and people are like, oh my gosh, there's these posters at Mondo. I'm like, posters? What's going on? Where? What time? How do you get in line? And you're like running, you try to figure it out. It's like they had a Snoopy one in the rain that I was trying to get and I did not get, but it's okay. Snoopy, you're still in my heart, Snoopy. You're good, Snoopy. But yeah, there's so much good stuff, so much talent when it comes to the artists and stuff like that. And it's always fun seeing the big booths. And even though they're corporations and all that stuff, and we give them tons of money so we can eat up their content constantly, it's still fun because some booths do it right. Some booths, Nickelodeon always does a good job. They had a great Avatar
Yeah, they
corner,
did.
a fun SpongeBob corner with like a campsite and stuff like that where you can go take pictures. Studio Ghibli had a giant Mr. Totoro that you could take a picture with, and you can hop in the cat bus, and there's just so much good stuff.
Yeah,
so much good stuff.
Like I would guarantee you, if you've never been to Comic-Con and you went, you're gonna find something that you're like, oh, I'm so glad that I went.
Yeah.
So.
And it's tough. It's a lottery system to get tickets.
Yeah.
It's not easy. So it's like, even if you have money, it's not easy to get in. Like
sometimes
it's luck.
Yeah. Sometimes you get it and then you wait 2 years,
Yeah.
because my
Us.
wife was like, yeah, Comic-Con's coming up. I mean, it's always in the news because it's San Diego. It's
Yeah.
like our big thing. And I was like, oh, and I didn't even realize it had been 2 years. And then she reminded me, because I forget things all the time,
And even if you don't get tickets, there's a lot to do outside of Comic-Con.
Oh.
There's probably just as much to do outside of Comic-Con as there is to do inside of Comic-Con.
Yeah, and so Black Adam, I know that he had a panel today, and I waited, and it was hot, and the sun was out. Okay, there was not a cloud in the sky, and I got a sunburn. And so we all talked as a family, and we're like, okay, want to see The Rock, So we go through the little security thing, and we wait there, and we got there about an hour before, and then the time that he was supposed to come out came and went. And then we're like, well, we're not leaving now. We've already dedicated all this time. They're handing out, because he's doing it for an energy drink that's come. I got a couple of cans. And they're giving away these hats and all that. And yeah, it took him at least like 50 more minutes and as time goes on, everyone starts crunching together, even though it's hot. And so he did finally come out, and my wife told me, she's like, yeah, he's gonna come around and actually come talk to the crowd. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's gonna stay over there. I'm hot. So I backed her way a little bit, but she got him on film and stuff. My son actually was
awesome.
like right next to him, right at the front of the thing. And and I was living in regret after that, because I was like, we waited all this time, but he was a nice guy, and I heard him singing the Maui song.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. And he was doing that, and he was just making the rounds, and he's a really nice guy in person, it looks like.
Oh yeah, he's super great. One year, me and my buddy were at, I think, his Hercules movie for Comic-Con. I think we were in Hall H. It was a Thursday. We somehow got in magically. I can't remember why. And we're sitting near the front, and he's like, all right, we have tickets for everyone here if you want to go, see the movie tonight. And we're like, yeah. And then my buddy next to me, he's like, is there free popcorn? And he looked right at us. He's like, no, that's cheap. I'm like, no, he's always going to know us as the cheap people. Thanks a lot, buddy.
On me, enjoy Hercules. What's that? Free popcorn? Now you get cheap.
And then the rocks never looked at me again. No, I was kidding. No.
And you never know. He might bring you up like talking about things like, and this one time.
Oh yeah, there was this one cheapskate. That's a great. That was my buddy. That wasn't me, man. I love you. He's just so nice. He has such a good smile. He's so charismatic. He's just like, you could tell, like, he would be someone like I would be down to have a drink with, even though he probably doesn't drink. He looks super healthy and in shape. Yeah. But Jack Black would be another person like I can definitely have a drink with, and looks like he still drinks. Yeah. So Jack Black, come here. But yeah, I mean, Comic-Con's great. If you guys ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it at least once in your life, just to see the craziness. And if you can't even get in, just go to San Diego, check out the downtown, especially if you live in Southern California. Oh, which was super fun, because when I tried getting in line for the Severance, there were guys that came from LA to just go into the Severance thing. They weren't even going to Comic-Con and stuff like that. And they were literally the last people to get in line. I was like, I got to go to the panel. Like, I was trying to get into that before the Severance panel. I'm like, this isn't going to work out. Like, this line is way too long. It's like up and around the street. And then after, at the end of the day, when I'm like leaving Comic-Con, we walk by, because I'm like, maybe I can just sneak in at the end, just to, just so I can see it. And they were the last people. There were like three people in front of them. Then it's them, and then it was blocked off. They're like, we're gonna get in. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're gonna get in. That's amazing. You came all this way. You've been waiting since 7 a.m. You're gonna get in, buddy. Like, it's just like crazy. They're awesome. They were such fun guys. I talked to them for a while. Everyone at Comic-Con is just so nice, because everyone's there for what they love. You know what I mean? It's not like, they're there to hate on, what you love, kind of thing. So it's such a great environment. Yeah, because such a great environment.
Especially with the heat, because when you're in the convention center, it's nice air conditioning.
Sometimes it gets kind of crowded, and you're like, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, but while I was in there, it was nice this year. So maybe they worked on it when it was all shut down. Right? It's right, because they have they have other conventions. I think Lowe's did a convention, so they probably were like, we got to get the air conditioning fixed. But but I was outside today. Like, the heat brings out the worst in people usually. But no, not like everybody was nice and everybody was patient. I didn't hear a single complaint. So it's just great. And yeah, even Bob's Burgers, they.
Oh, it's right.
We what was it? We did like this Doctor Strange picture thing on the outside, and
nice.
And so then we saw the burgers. They were giving away burgers. So I'm like, we're probably not going to get the burger, But I told my wife, let's go try, because my other son, he just loves hamburgers. He lives for hamburgers.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, and so we're waiting in line, and they were giving them out, and they ran out. So, but I did feel like,
which one was it? Was it Baby You Can Chive My Car? No. Sorry.
I think it was like some sort of a soy burger, and I was like,
okay, cool.
I've never seen this many people wait for a soy burger. It must be good, So, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe I just misheard it,
Yeah. Burgers are so good, even vegans make burgers. You know what I mean? It's just the idea of like that flavor combo with the patty is just like so perfect. It's just like, it's so good. Like Beyond Meat burgers, delicious.
Yeah.
If you haven't done it, try it. It's super good. It's super good. They even make it now so it's like juicy and everything too. Anyways, I got off on a burger tangent right now.
No, but it's a priority of mankind, right? It's like we have so many other problems that we could fix.
Or at least Americans.
Yeah. But they're like, no, we made an imitation burger. That's our big accomplishment.
So good. Any final thoughts on Comic-Con or anything you want to mention?
No, I mean, see, that's the thing about Comic-Con is you can be disappointed that you don't get to go see the Severance experience or go to Hall H. But in the end, you don't, I mean, maybe you care a little bit, but you don't care that much because you're at Comic-Con and it's just so much fun. Yeah. And, one of my favorite things to see is all the cosplay, which I know it wasn't that strong this year, but I think it will get stronger next year.
Was it stronger on Saturday?
Because
I think Saturday's the ball.
Yeah.
The masquerade. So you see more. But I also at WonderCon, I noticed at WonderCon, most of the cosplayers were outside.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to wear the mask with their costumes for the photos and stuff like that. So maybe that was like a thing. Maybe they were like outside at a place. I mean, I don't know. I saw a good handful walking around, but not like what I'm used to. And it sucks too, because the cosplayers, what makes Comic-Con, they're also in a lottery system to get in.
Yeah.
And it's just like no one's guaranteed. Even if you're the best cosplayer, maybe if you have your own company or whatever, you're guaranteed to get in. But it's just like it's a raffle system. You cross your fingers and you hope you get in. And it's just a shame because they spend more time than me. It's like, oh yeah, I have my Outie shirt. Woo, look at me, I'm cool. But they're like full on decked on with swords and all this cool stuff. And they make the experience fun.
I'm gonna try that some year where I just put a shirt on. And I'm gonna go up to somebody who's fully dressed and be like, "We're the same. Look at this."
No,
like,
we're not so different, you and I. It's
like man gets beat up by Wonder Woman. That's gonna be me.
Gets pounded. Face punch. But guys, thank you so much. Comment down below if you have ever gone to Comic-Con or if you went to Comic-Con 2022 and your favorite experiences and things you've done. I mean, we might even do another video because there's just so much to talk about here. Comment down below if you want more. I'll try to remember more. It's so like all over the place in my head right now. I'm trying to think of other booths and stuff and I just am blanking. But subscribe to AsArt to get all of our updates and videos and stuff like that. Go to asart.space for all the audio and video links. And we'll see you on the next AsArt.
Woohoo!
Woo! Yeah, that's a filming session.
Yeah, that was cool.